If you look at the greatest stages in tennis, one team has been there for generations. From the rivalry of Sampras and Agassi to champions like McEnroe, Serena, and Rafa dominating in New York, Nike has defined eras of the game. And now the next great rivalry is here. Carlos Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner. The line in this chart represents every single point in this rivalry since the very first time Carlos and Jannik met on tour. When it moves to the right, that's a point for Carlos. When it moves to the left, that's a point for Jannik. The result looks like one big seesaw, and these horizontal breaks divide the rivalry into the 14 matches they've played so far, keeping that running point total the whole time. It might seem like just a squiggly line, but if you look closely, each twist and turn is its own story in this budding rivalry. You can see dominant performances like Wimbledon 2022, where Sinner controlled the match, finishing 28 points ahead here, or the pendulum swinging the other way at the Rome Masters when Carlos pulled away in the second set and outpaced Jannik by 17 points. But this single line also showcases the battles that define this rivalry. Take this year's Roland Garros final here in Orange, a grueling 5.5-hour war with momentum swings in every set, ending with Alcaraz laying victorious on the clay even though he lost one more point overall than Sinner. Or rewind 3 years to Flushing Meadows at the 2022 US Open quarterfinals here in blue, another 5-set, 5-hour epic with swings back and forth and Carlos edging Jannik before marching on to his first ever Grand Slam title. We could break down every single match, but what's most impressive is what we see when we zoom out. At the bottom of this chart is the current cumulative difference between these two players as it stands now during this year's US Open, where just 21 points favor Jannik Sinner. Over the course of more than 2,900 points played over 5 years between these two, that's just a 0.7% difference. It's proof of how balanced and how important this rivalry has become, an entry point into a new, elite era of tennis. You see, we're in the midst of a changing of the guard in this sport, and this chart shows the cumulative number of Grand Slams won each year since 2003 by the previous big three, with one color block for each, and then the line above it is the total number of Grand Slams that were available. What you'll notice is that for 20 years, those three players won 66 total Grand Slams, 80% of everything that was on the table. Now, when we layer in the red and blue lines for Alcaraz and Sinner, we can see they've officially taken the reins, winning 9 Grand Slams between them already and continuing the rapid pace of victories set by the previous generation. It all comes down to these next 2 weeks in New York at the 2025 US Open, which will decide the new world number one. Whether it stays with Jannik or swings back to Carlos, either way, the sport's next era runs through a Nike athlete.